Hello everyone, today in this video we will learn array. Array is the important chapter of C programming language. The basic concept of the array will be used in all programming language, so that it is crucial to learn array. Now what is the array? Before going to array, let's describe the variable. What does a variable do? Variable is simply a name that contain a value. That means single variable can contain single value. Int a. That means a is a variable we define in this way in the C programming language. Now a can hold only one value at a time. 5, 6, 7 and so on. And we can access this value, or you can use value of the a for the mathematical operations or logical operations. But a can only hold only one value. Now to remove these limitations, the concept of the array has been come. Now, array can store any number of value in a single name. For example, suppose we need to store a marks of 5 students in a single variable, then the concept of array will be useful. Now, that means to hold a multiple data of a similar type. Similar type means the data could be of integer type, the data could be of floating point, character, and so on. To store the multiple data in a single variable name, we use concept of array. Now, but array can store only one type of data. For example, if array is defined to store values of type integer, then it cannot store the characters and so on. We need similar types of data, and array stored data in a consecutive memory locations. That means in a memory locations continuously each element of uh, array take continuous memory locations. For example, we define an array of 10 element, then suppose one element take 2 byte, then it take continuously 20 byte. That means first element take 2 byte, and after that 2 byte, and so on. That is now that is the array. Array take the consecutive memory location, store consecutive memory. The value of each positions is called array. It's called element. Now the positions of each element is represented by index. For example, suppose a index will be represented inside the square bracket f5. That means a fifth element of array, sixth element of array, sorry, because the element will begin from 0. The index become start from 0. That means this is the first element, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth, this is the fifth element. Now this represents the fifth element. That means the values that would be stored in the fifth positions of the array is called fifth element. A4 means fifth element. The value of the each position is called elements, and the number which represent the positions of the value will call the index, and this is the array variable. Now this is called the size. This will represent the fourth element, but while defining the array, how to define the array, let's see. Int. First of all, we need to write which type of data we are going to store in the array. That means integer. You write a and its size. Here it does not represent the seventh element, because here we are defining array. While defining array, if we gives the number inside the square bracket, that represents its size. That means it can store seventh element. 6 means 0 to 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 means seventh element. It can store seventh element, 7 integer value. This means 11 integer value. Now To store the float, we use float. To store the character, we use character. This is the definition. This is the array. This is the way how we define the array element. Now to store value to the array, we use assign operator. Suppose a5 equal to 6. That means sixth element of the array will contain 9. That means the value of the f5 will be 9. Now we use array. We use loop, for loop or while loop operator to access the value of the array generally, or we can randomly use indices to represent the value. So for example, to get the 9th element we use 8. If we write in this way, if we write print f %d, why %d? %d because this array is of type integer. To make integer we need to write int %d, and after comma we need to write a5. This will display 6th element. And similarly, to take the element from the user, we write scanf functions. Now this is the array. What is array? Array will store multiple value in a single variable of same type in a consecutive memory locations. Now let's perform the additions, matrix additions. Now there are many types of array. That means this is the single dimension. This is the single dimensions array store value in this way: 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that means in a sequential manner, in a one way. Single dimension. This is called a single dimension because only one. This a5, that means 3, 6. It can store 6 element. Now two-dimensional array, multi-dimensional, single dimension array and multiple dimension array. Multiple dimensions array could be 2 dimensional, 3 dimensional, 4 dimensional, and so on. Now two-dimensional array. Now let's take the example of two-dimensional array. int e3 3. Now this is called the two-dimensional array. It's defined to size. Now how elements are stored in this array? Let's write this. Insert now this a5 means it can store this would be a0, a1, a2, a3, a4, a5. It can store 6 element. Now two-dimensional array. Now let's 3 by 3 array. This is also called the matrix. Now how does it store the value? Now let's see. 3 and 3. Now the value will be as shown in figure. Now let's write random number. Now in this way, this 3 into 3, two-dimensional array means two-dimensional row and column, two-dimensional. Now a3, how to access these values? Now a00 represent these values. Now let's write a00. This value would be a00. This value would be a01. 0, the first dimension represent row and second dimension represent column. 0th row, first column. How to access this? This should be accessed at 0, 2. No. And what would be this value? How to access this element? A first 0. A first row, first column. A first row, second column. A second row, 0th column. A second row, first column. A second row, second column. Now, in this way, we can access the element of the array. Now, instead, this is the square matrix. Instead of 3, we can also write 5, 6, so on. This will represent, if we wrote 6, this would contain the 6th column, and so on. And the array could contain also the 3 dimensions. 3 dimensions here means it would go, this would be x-axis, this would be y-axis, and this diagonal of this will go to the z-axis. That means 3-dimensional array will be complex to study. This will be studied in the data mining chapter. Now we just need to study up to 2-dimensional array. Now let's write some program to understand the array in C programming. This is the method of writing comment. Write a program to store element on array and display it and display sum of each. Now we are going to write a program which will take element of the array from the user, display each element, and display sum of each element. Now, as usual, we need to write a header file. This is the format of writing the C program. The code to get required calculations will write here. First of all, shell to clear the screen. Now, first of all, we need to define array. And before defining array, some variable, we also need some variable. Let's define variable I and array. What would be the size of the array? Dimension of size of the array? 1. One dimension, one size. If array contains the one dimension, one size, then it's called one dimensional. Now, print f, enter the element of array. backslash n will move the cursor into the new line at the output side. For I is equal to 0, the index of the array begins from the 0 to is less than 5 I plus plus. To take the value from the user, we need f function. %d. After taking the input, we need to write new line backslash n. Ampersand. A I. Printf. Enter. Enter enter percentage element I plus 1. Now this for loop will take all the element of the array from the user. Now to display the each element, print here the entered elements of array are backslash n. Printf %d %d and after that backslash n. AI. Now to get the sum of each element, we need to initialize. We need to define a sum, integer sum equal to, let's write sum, and sum is equal to 0 defined, and we we need to add each element. Sum is equal to sum plus ai. Print f the sum of number is equal to percent t comma sum. Now this program should gives the result as expected. Now let's see the output. One error with the print f. Yes, we forgot to write the semicolon at the end of this statement. Now F9. Now enter percent this element. Here for the enter element 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. The sum of which what is that wrong? Let's say percent date. I think so. Next, let's see the output again. Enter first element 3. 3. Enter second element 5. Oh. 3, 3, 3, 3. The mistake. Enter the element of array. Yes. Percentage element. Percent ai. Don't need it. We just need to write here first backslash t. Let's see the output. Enter first element 3. Enter second element 5. Third 4. 1 7. Enter element 3 5 4 1 7. Yes. And what would be the sums? 5 plus 3 8. 8 plus 4 12 13. 13 plus 7 20. Yes. In this case the result as expected. This is the example first dimensional array. Now let's write a program to perform a matrix additions. We're going to the matrix additions. Let's describe the matrix additions.